What's good, family? It's your man the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my darky, Fundus Productions, for coming through and boosting the coin up. So, in the last few days, Conor Benn came out and finally, officially broke his silence, speaking out on the Juicegate debacle. Essentially, in summary, he said, F the fans, I'm going to be the villain. I'm going to be the villain and go and fight in another country and juice all the way off my bonnet. Yeah? Juice all the way off my bonds. Get 100% juiced off my Nelly. Because the fans, they hating. My name's Conor Benn. I'm a 21-year-old millionaire, entrepreneur, 100%, and the fans don't like the fact that I'm juiced off my Nelly, so I'm going to play into the villain role. That's what Conor Benn essentially said in so many words. Blame the fans. The fans are haters. The fans are mad at me, and that's the bottom line. So, Eubank responded to this and said, what's done in the darkness always eventually comes to light. Now, it wasn't obviously YB. You're stretching this out a bit, ain't you, mate? Listen, you're right. Yeah, 100%. There's not too much meat on the bones here. But what tickled me and what made me do this video was the fact that, Chris, you was signed up. You was the one keeping this hush. Yeah? Conor Benn, his team, had all the incentive not to say anything. You were the one, for 3 months, or however long, not telling anyone and cracking on forward. So for him to sit here and try and virtue signal, as if, fair enough, yeah, if Eubank Jr. didn't know, then this statement would make sense. Oh, I didn't know and I can't believe he was going to try and fight me, juiced off his Nelly. But you knew about it all. What do you mean? What's done in the darkness always comes to light. You knew. You was the one going along with their conspiracy. Again, Eddie Hearn and Calla Sniffland, they weren't ever going to tell anyone to mess their bag up. You, on the other hand, if anyone was going to leak it, it would have been you. And in fact, it ended up being your pops. But the point is, the only person really responsible for any darkness here is actually yourself. Because like I said, we can't blame Eddie and Conor Benn. They're the ones who got caught. Why would they want to bring any light to that? You're the one who should have been trying to act in full faith. You know what? Conor Benn, you've been caught juicing off your mind. The people need to know this. Let me bring the light to it. The way you're acting on like you're a complete passenger who didn't know any better yourself, and you almost got played. I do feel it has to be said, yeah, that, I don't know how you man feel, but I've always got the feeling that the public has never really kind of gravitated towards Eubank Jr. He's always been a little bit of a pariah. Why? Well, he's leveraged his dad's name and hasn't really given much back to the sport itself, if that makes sense. So, for example, never even tried to compete for a world championship, never even tried to have a big fight. In the last 6 months, we've had WBO champion calling out Chris Eubank Jr. to fight. And instead, Chris Eubank Jr. calling out Jake Paul. So all these little weird things, he's made a whole bunch of people, yeah. We're simple people. No one likes to feel like other people have got an easy ride. Eubank Jr. has had an easy ride, for what it's worth. Hasn't really done a lot, and yet he will be in the top 0.01% of boxing outcomes. In terms of boxing earnings, he's in the absolute pinnacle of the sport, and yet he ain't even competed for a world championship yet. That never happens. No one else will be a millionaire within boxing without competing for a world championship. Literally only Chris Eubank Jr. and maybe Conor Benn. That's it. So it's all about their dads. Yeah, it's all about being their dad's son. That's why I feel Eubank's never really been seen in that light. Now, obviously, 2-2s, Conor Benn gets popped, and all of a sudden, the public sentiments shifted. And I feel, you know what I mean, like Eubank's really playing up to it. And little quotes like this, what's done in the darkness, again, it's playing up to that, you know what I mean, like, what's the word? He's sticking his finger. Yeah, Eubank Jr. stuck his finger into Conor Benn's wound and he's twisting it right now. But I'm doing this video to say, I've got to be honest here, Eubank's not as culpable, obviously. He's not the one who got popped, but I do feel Eubank has a very high degree of culpability here. No one asked you to keep it quiet in that sense. You're the one who really, apart from pure financial gain, and that's what I'm saying about Eubank trying to carry on like it's so virtuous, but in reality, you hushed it all up. You're the one who hushed it up. Eddie didn't hush it up, in my opinion. Eddie did what he had to do. The only person who was removed from the situation enough was you. You're the only one who really had the ability. Eddie Hearn couldn't come out and expose Conor Benn. He couldn't do it. You could, and you chose not to for monetary gain. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I wanted to watch the fight. I would have watched the fight. My issue isn't the fact that you decided to chase the bag. My issue is, let's not now make out, you know what I mean? Let's not make out now that you've got some positive clout from the fans for once. Let's not now make out that, you know what I'm saying, like you're the holiest one. You're as bad as them, truth be known. I've already explained, arguably worse, if we're honest. All this time you sat there, looking the public in the eye, knowing these things. And now it's come out, you're trying to stunt like you're holier than thou. And let's look at the comments. I guarantee you, I haven't seen these comments yet. I guarantee you a lot of these comments are gassing Eubank Jr. up. Here we go. Everyone apart from Chris Eubank Jr. showed, here we go, that's what I'm talking about. These comments are going to prove exactly what I'm saying. I'm telling you, Chris Eubank Jr. is playing up to be seen as some sort of hero. And in fact, it's the contrary. Here we go. Everyone apart from Chris Eubank Jr. showed a love of money in this saga. The love of money is the root of all evil. So again, this individual is putting Eubank Jr. on a pedestal. Unbelievable. He's the one who was fiending it for himself. Shocking. Well, to be fair, he's getting dragged a bit. And before I got dragged, will we ever see you become a world champion, Chris? Muggins. Oh no, to be fair, there's more pushback than I expected. You knew about the failed July test and duped the public into thinking the fight was still going ahead, didn't you? Yeah, I'm glad, yeah, everyone isn't a low IQ goober. That's a great comment. I wonder if there's any NPCs defending Chris Eubank. Here we go. Maybe he knew, gassed, maybe he knew it wouldn't have gone ahead, so could cut the weight and still forfeit. Someone in the team told the papers. Chris is playing 10-dimensional chess here. Chris knew it wouldn't go ahead. So, what? Get serious here. Yeah, Chris had a rock-hard lob on for this fight to go ahead, to get the bag. That's the bottom line here. He was big bag chasing. No shame. And really, like the guy said, he mugged the fans off. Never mind anything else. Never mind doing it for holy reasons. Chris Eubank Jr. owed it to his fans to say, fans, Conor's as dirty as you like. Conor's juiced off his Nelly. And I'm happy to fight Conor on this basis, but I wanted you to know, just in case the board, or Conor Benn's under investigation by the board. So if the fight don't happen, don't no one blame me. Yeah? If you get cucked, if your flights get cucked and your hotel gets cucked, I wanted you man to know. He ain't do that. And really, the fact these cats here, they all knew this stuff was going on. They was all playing possum to the degree. They didn't let slip at all. Innit? Just think about all them intense face-offs. That's the bit that gets me, yeah. Think about all the intense face-offs Conor Benn and Eubank had. All the intense press conferences they had. You never would have known, would you? Like, to be honest, I remember Eubank and Benn were doing an intense face-off, yeah, and Conor Benn was giving it to Eubank, talking to him. It makes you wonder, like, imagine knowing, Conor Benn will have known he's pop juicy. He will have known Eubank knows that, and yet Conor's in his face giving it to him. That shows you how comfortable Conor felt and how secure he felt. Now, in contrast, let me explain and give you an example of what I mean. Well, Tyson Fury, for example. When the whole Kinahan news came out, Tyson Fury was he wasn't giving it to Dillian Whyte at the press conferences. In fact, Tyson Fury was saying, "Oh, Dillian Whyte's a great man, he's a top dog, he's a top lad," and all this kind of stuff, gassing him up. Tyson Fury was essential. Bottom line is, Tyson Fury didn't want to poke the bear. He didn't want to come out and stick it on Dillian Whyte for Dillian Whyte to then start going on about Kinahan. We didn't see any of that behaviour from Conor Benn at all. In fact, I was tweeting saying, "Wow, Conor Benn's ready to set about Eubank." That's how gassed I was, based on what I'd seen. So Conor Benn didn't even think, he was so confident in his position. He had no apprehension whatsoever. It's amazing to watch, the audacity of it. And in a way, it makes you wonder, someone who has an ego that big, maybe, yeah, especially with Dr. Al-Shabaab, maybe, if you've got an ego that big, combined with Dr. Al-Shabaab in your ear, gassing you up about how good he is at juicing, maybe he just thought he was unstoppable. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, come on, Chris, man. Let's stop the grandstanding now. Yeah, we get it. You're trying to be the public's hero now. Listen, Chris, if you want to be the public's hero, you know what to do. Pick the phone up to Demetrius Poo Andrade. Pick the phone up to Triple G Golovkin and go in there and get to work. That's all you've got to do. Yeah? Let's not try and you know what? I can get some public support here. My man's out here selling t-shirts. Fucking hell. Jesus. Anyway, smash the like button, subscribe, and your boy will be back.